On a hill in southeastern Turkey lies a mystery older than history itself, a place that, according to everything we know, shouldn't even exist. Beneath layers of soil, archaeologists uncovered something extraordinary, a vast temple complex, crafted not by kings, farmers, or any known civilization, but by hunter-gatherers over 12,000 years ago. They called it Göbekli Tepe, a name that means Potbelly Hill. But what it hides beneath the surface is anything but ordinary. Towering stone pillars carved with animals, celestial symbols, and mysterious humanoid figures rise from the earth like silent sentinels of a forgotten world. This single discovery shattered everything we thought we knew about human history, because Göbekli Tepe predates every known civilization by thousands of years. It forces us to ask, who built it? What knowledge did they possess? And why, after constructing one of the greatest temples ever discovered, did they bury it? The discovery. Göbekli Tepe was first discovered in 1994 by a local shepherd who stumbled upon a series of strange stone slabs protruding from the soil. When archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began excavations, what he found defied belief. Massive T-shaped limestone pillars, some weighing over 10 tons, arranged in perfect circles. The world's first known temple complex. There was no sign of metal tools, no pottery, no written language. Yet the craftsmanship was beyond anything previously thought possible for hunter-gatherers of that time. The carvings on the pillars showed animals, lions, vultures, scorpions, snakes, and abstract symbols that appeared to tell a story lost to time. Some pillars showed humanoid forms with hands clasped around their bodies, suggesting they may have represented deities, ancestors, or even watchers from the heavens. And then there was the greatest mystery of all. It had all been deliberately buried, thousands of years after being built. Someone had intentionally hidden Göbekli Tepe under tons of earth, preserving it like a time capsule for future eyes to find. The timeline. If Göbekli Tepe truly dates back to 9,600 BC, then history, as we know it, isn't just wrong, it's incomplete. We've long believed that civilization began in Mesopotamia, with the Sumerians around 4000 BC, the first to build cities, invent writing, and construct temples to their gods. A few thousand years later came the Egyptians, whose pyramids, built around 2500 BC, align perfectly with the stars of Orion's belt. At the same time, across the sea, people in what is now Britain were raising the stones of Stonehenge, designed to mark the summer and winter solstices. Each civilization appeared suddenly, advanced and organized, as if knowledge had been handed to them, not developed by them. But Göbekli Tepe predates them all. By 6,000 years before Stonehenge, 7,000 years before the Great Pyramid, and 5,000 years before the first Sumerian city ever rose from the earth. And strangely, echoes of Göbekli Tepe's imagery appear in each of these later cultures. The Sumerians spoke of gods descending from the heavens. The Egyptians carved half-human, half-animal deities. Even Stonehenge, though across an ocean, shares its circular design and celestial precision. It's as if these later civilizations were remembering something ancient, fragments of a forgotten legacy. Perhaps Göbekli Tepe wasn't the start of human civilization. Perhaps it was the last monument of one that came before. Section 3. Theories and Cataclysm. To understand why Göbekli Tepe exists, we must go back to a time when the earth itself was in turmoil. Around 10,800 BC, the planet entered a sudden and violent shift known as the Younger Dryas, a mini ice age that triggered floods, famine, and global chaos. Some scientists believe it began with a comet impact, striking the northern ice sheets and sending molten debris across the skies. Others say it was the result of massive geological upheaval. Whatever happened, it changed everything. Temperatures dropped overnight, glaciers advanced, and massive floods swept across continents, wiping out entire species and possibly entire civilizations. When the world began to recover, around 9,600 BC, humanity re-emerged, different. That date, 9,600 BC, the very same era Göbekli Tepe was built, also matches the date given by Plato for the sinking of Atlantis. Was Göbekli Tepe a creation of the survivors of a lost world, a society trying to preserve their knowledge before it vanished forever? One carving, known as the Vulture Stone, or Pillar 43, may hold the answer. It shows falling symbols, constellations, and a headless human, which some researchers believe depict the comet strike that ended the last ice age. And across the world, ancient texts echo this story of destruction and rebirth. The Sumerian flood legend speaks of Ziusudra, saved by the gods from a great deluge. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, Utnapishtim survives a divine flood. And in the Bible, Noah builds an ark to endure 40 days of rain, sent to cleanse the world of sin. According to Scripture, Noah's ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat, the very same region where Göbekli Tepe stands today. Could all these stories, Sumerian, Babylonian, and biblical, describe the same real event? Could the survivors of that flood have built Göbekli Tepe as a memorial, encoding their lost knowledge into stone? If so, it wasn't just a temple. It was a message left by those who lived through the end of the world. The final mystery. Today, Göbekli Tepe stands as the oldest known temple on Earth. Older than writing, older than metal, older even than history itself. But what's most mysterious is that no one knows why it was buried. There are no signs of violence, no destruction. The builders carefully filled the site with sand and rubble, as if they were sealing it away on purpose. Were they protecting something sacred? Or did they know that another cataclysm was coming and hoped to preserve a record for those who would come after? Every carving, every stone seems deliberate. The foxes, the vultures, the serpents. Some believe these represent constellations, others that they encode messages about the heavens, but perhaps they tell a deeper story of remembrance. If the Great Flood truly happened, then Göbekli Tepe may have been humanity's ark, not built to survive the waters, but to carry memory across ages. And when it was rediscovered in the 1990s, it didn't just rewrite archaeology. It reopened a forgotten question, one that still lingers in the dust of its stones. Who were we before we were civilized? Maybe the story of humanity doesn't begin in Sumer, Egypt, or Babylon. Maybe it begins here, on this lonely hill, where the first builders of the unknown looked to the stars, watched their world end, and buried their memory in stone, waiting for us to uncover it again.